Alright, this is for the pilots of Wardogs. I know a lot of you are after this information, so here we go. The physics of flying in Wardogs is not like Arma. It's not like Battlefield, but the game, surprisingly, I found it most similar to was War Thunder. After spending hundreds and thousands of hours in some games flying, Wardogs felt to me the most similar to War Thunder. Now, I'm saying it's similar. It's not like flying in War Thunder, but it's similar. The helicopter in Wardogs, not incredibly fast in its forward momentum, it is not the most nimble flying experience ever. However, it does not do things that helicopters shouldn't do in real life, especially if you compare it to Arma Reforger. I got over 5,000 hours in Arma Reforger, and a lot of it was spent flying. I would say probably a good 3,000 to 3,500 hours in my Arma Reforger career was spent flying, and a lot of it in the Little Bird. I mean, I got videos out of Little Bird, teaching how to fly in a Little Bird. I'm familiar. It's so unrealistic. Flying in Reforger, it's fun, but it's so forgiving and it's so easy. Literally anybody can fly in Reforger. Anybody can do tricks in Reforger. You're not going to hop into Wardogs and immediately be good. It's going to take you a lot more time to learn in Wardogs than it would in Arma Reforger. In Wardogs, the helicopter is a collective operation. I'm not sure it's supposed to be the way it is. I don't like it. So, when you're using your collective in Wardogs, it's a very slow, linear curve, I would say. It takes a long time for your upward momentum to build, and your downward momentum is non-existent. So when you're landing your helicopter in Wardogs, it's going to be up to you to do some sort of... So you'll see in the clips when I'm flying Wardogs, you're going to see me doing a barrel roll or a J-hook or some sort of maneuver. And the reason for that is I'm bleeding speed. I am removing momentum from my flying in order to land. Because the collective, when you're pulling down on it to try and get the helicopter to touch ground, it's not going to do that. It's not going to go straight down like you would expect. You've got to kind of get the helicopter in a position where it's stable and it's not really traveling too much forward or backward. When you're landing, make sure you're traveling forward or just straight. In this game, it feels like a bug. Your helicopter is just going to flip over on its side and you're going to go WTF. And that's just how it flies when you're landing. I think it's a bit of a bug. It feels like the skids are catching in mud, even when you're on concrete. So just make sure that you're not floating left and right when you're trying to land. To get fancy and do tricks and stuff like that in Wardogs with your flying, it's just going to take you practice. It's going to take you some investment of time, and that's good. But what's also good is the fact that you can do it in the first place. If you haven't played the alpha or the beta yet, you're going to really enjoy flying. I played both mouse and keyboard and with a Hotas controller, and it was a fun experience on both. And I saw a lot of people doing really well with mouse and keyboard. Shout out my boy, Arma Pilot. I was flying with him a bit, and we had a lot of fun. And he was just killing it on mouse and keyboard. So, those of you mouse and keyboard players from, let's say, Arma 3, you're going to have a fun time. Throw me a like and throw me a subscribe here and join our Discord. We are the United Front. If you're a new player to Wardogs or any other game, we got support for you. You can reach out to one of our Pathfinders and we'll get you on your way. Dude, it was so stupidly easy, it's not even funny. I plugged in my sticks, the X52 and the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro. I clicked the button in the settings menu and turned it on. That was it. I went and bound all my keys, did my key mapping, and I don't know, within 60 seconds I was flying, and it was pretty incredible. Not even Arma Reforger has Hotas support like this, and that shit slop game has been out for years. I really wanted to try flying on the controller, however, we were not able to remap our controls on a controller in the alpha or the beta. So we'll have to wait for early access for that. Part 3, close air support. The only helicopter I was able to unlock in the time frame, 2 days is really a struggle to get anywhere, was a minigun Little Bird. This was the exact same experience pretty much as I had with the alpha. However, on the beta, something new they added, you could grind out to unlock flesh rounds or AP rounds. I wasn't able to successfully unlock either of them for testing, so all my experience with it is just purely default as it comes. The rounds, they don't do too much damage on the default variant. You really have to line it up, and if you're like me and you got bad eyesight, it's going to be a bit of a struggle to find targets. There are a lot of times when playing and flying casts that I just couldn't find the players. I couldn't see them because they blend into the environment so well. However, I think if you cheese it, you know, if you're like
uber sweaty competitive nerd needs to be #1 on the leaderboard so you can post on Twitter that you're the #1 pilot in the game,
you can adjust your graphic settings and probably reduce shadows or remove shadows, and then you can go ahead and
get your clip so you can be the #1 pilot in Wardogs on Twitter.
Flight model lends itself pretty perfectly to flying close air support. One of my favorite things to do during alpha and beta was pirouetting around the tower, and that's kind of like when you're keeping your helicopter in a stationary circle. So your nose of your helicopter is always pointed at the target, while the tail of your helicopter is kind of up. You'll see in the clip here. Dude, so much fun when you can do that. It just felt good that it actually worked that good in this game. I was not expecting to actually fly the heli proper. I mean, you can fly sideways, backwards, pirouette, everything in real life, but the Arma Reforger physics just didn't let you do it the same. The Havoc, I couldn't get it. I couldn't even get close. So I ended the beta at level 15, and at level 20 you get the rocket pod Little Bird. I didn't even get close. So level 15 took me around 55,000 XP, and the jump from level 15 to level 20 was 103,000 XP. So I definitely, you know, I'm not a fast gamer. I'm not able to put in 16 hours a day like the dudes that did play it to get the rocket bird and whatever else. You know, you've got to have the time investment, and you have to have some luck on your side in the game work. And I was one of the people that suffered from frequent game crashes, and it was just tough. So we'll wait for early access. It's okay. I mean, we have nothing but time. It would have been nice to fly the rocket. Oh, what can you do? Part 4 is supplies and logi. I think this is the one that I had the most fun with. My name is Supply Guy. That was pretty much my MO in Arma Reforger. I found a great strength and a great value in being the best supply guy that one could be. It wins games. Supplies are hella important. But in Wardogs, supplies mean more than anything. If you have no supplies in Wardogs, you've literally got nothing, right? So your teammates are out setting up fobs, and they're going to need supplies. They're going to need building supplies. They're going to need ammunition, and there's a drill tower. What the drill tower does, inside of the hot zone, there is the little circle that moves across the map. When you're inside that circle, you get double points. So if you want control over that circle, you can build an oil drill and start drilling for oil. You have that set up and it's activated. It's going to pull that circle towards you, wherever you built that derrick. Keep that derrick running though. You need a constant supply of fuel. That's where a guy like me comes into play to help win the game. The biggest, baddest ass feature that, dude, I lost my shit when I was playing. You can fly over your point, your FOB, or your tower, wherever it is you're needed. You fly over it, you hit a button, drop your supplies midair. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. I'm gonna miss landing, but think about it in a different way. So you've got an enemy team that's all pushing a point. You've got people on the ground with RPGs. You got tanks. You got anti-air. Blah 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 blah. Just being able to fly over the point, quickly drop your supplies so that your teammate can restock the FOB. Dude, amazing. It gets you out of pretty much guaranteed death every time. If a team was pushing the point and you have to take time to land and then get out and physically unload your supplies, like Armory Forger, I mean, you're cooked, man. You're just cooked. That was an amazing feature to see added. It made me really thankful and appreciative of the development team, because it's not the only quality of life feature that they've added, but it's probably, to me, one of the most important ones, because when I'm playing Wardogs, when it comes out, most of my time is going to be spent as a supply main. That's just me, man. I'm not going to be running and gunning infantry. I'm not going to be doing much tanks. I'm just going to be running supplies, man, helping my team win games. The cool thing about running supplies too in Wardogs is you can fill them with whatever you want, and then you can actually tax the shit out of it so you can make crazy money. My brother was building insane FOBs and needed a constant drop of building and ammo supplies so that he could keep the mortar team, the CRAM, and the HESCOs coming to protect our tower. It was a lot of fun, actually. I spent just over 2 hours just back and forth dropping crates of building supplies, ammunition supplies, and just medical supplies, common bullets. It's cool. You can put weapons in the crates, guns, RPGs, ammo, basically everything from the gear vendor. It goes inside of a supply crate. Really cool. Really cool. It makes for some great opportunities. You know, the best part is storing 100% tax on everything. Get all that money. Flying the Huey is awesome because you drop pallet. The pallets are different than a crate. It costs $400 to get a pallet, and you get nearly 5,000 back just from dropping it. So then when someone goes to the pallet after you drop it at the FOB, they just hold F to unload it, and it will automatically unload the supply into the FOB if you are within range, if you dropped it inside of the square. To see the square, you just open up your map and it'll show you there. If you do this with the little bird, they have to manually remove each item from the crate and deliver it to the fob computer with a backpack. It's a bit tedious, but the advantage of the little bird drop is that you can put all the individual items inside the crate for people to buy. You can't do that with the pallet. The pallet is just a predetermined amount of supplies. It's going to be like ammo supplies for your CRAM and your mortars. It's going to be building supplies, and it automatically gets unloaded. With the pallets, you can't choose what goes inside the pallet, depending on use case. It's cool that you have the option. It's like, okay, your teammates, they need to re-up their kit. They're low on ammo, they're low on meds, they're low on grenades. Get a little bird, fill a crate or two, all of the common stuff that infantry would need, drop it at the fob. They can re-up there. Super amazing. You can 100% tax it and get your money back ×2, and everybody's happy. You can also use supply trucks if you're not into flying. The supply trucks, they hold a lot, and you rank up just the same way. Probably the biggest thing to be worried about is RPG ambushes. That happened to me a lot, man. Bush rats with RPGs, man. We used to do it in Armory Forger. Some things never changed, dude. Flying the Huey, this thing is a fucking pig, man. I actually struggled. I actually had mega skill issue trying to fly the Huey. It is a brick, and the collective doesn't work the same as the little bird. It's a lot different. Pallets, though, they're the way to go for earning money. You earn crazy insane money. However, if you want to get extra XP from doing supplies, I would recommend the little bird. Every time someone purchases equipment from a crate you drop with a little bird, you get 25 XP on top of your money. Just to end off the supplies and the logistics here, this was really cool. So in the little bird, I spent an entire day just dropping off supplies, ammo, whatever. It leveled up my support class as well, because I'm offering support to my teammates just passively from flying and delivering supplies. I ranked up my support class, I think, to level 10 or 11. That gave me the opportunity to build cool stuff with the big hammer. So I was able to build, I think there's the drone launcher, the mortars, the CRAM, all of that stuff I was able to build with the big hammer. It was pretty awesome. The conclusion, my weekend spent flying again in Wardogs beta. I'm looking forward to the early access. There's a lot of things that I feel that need changing or fixing. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's not too entirely a deal breaker. So if you're flying, you're going to have a problem with a lot of anti-air. It's pretty insufferable when everybody has rank. The meta is to immediately get tanks and push enemy teams on match start, and then start building anti-air off rip. It gets pretty toxic out there. It was actually not too much fun. I'm making another video to go deeply into the experience with the gameplay loop and the flow of the game, especially as a solo player. I played mostly solo beta weekend, and you really need a team. My recommendation, if you're going in solo as a pilot only, just try to find somebody that you can link up with that's building an FOB. If you see somebody doing base building, approach them and talk to them and ask them if you can be their supply delivery expert, or maybe just focus on transporting infantry from main base to forward operating base. It's entirely up to you, really, though. If you've got the rank and you've already grinded everything out, you could just fly close air support and then make your money to keep that going. It's up to you to do what you want. This game is kind of like a big sandbox, and you've got the opportunity to do whatever you want, really. I mean, there's no real right or wrong way to play the game as long as you're having fun. Do you know what I mean? If you're solo, try to make the fun as much as you can and put everything else behind the fun. Pilots, I think you'll like flying in Wardogs. I think it'll be very rewarding for you, and I think people with a lot of skill flying are going to shine in this game, and they're going to have a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the early access. I'm looking forward to being able to grind out all the equipment, all the toys, play all the maps, and actually get to see and feel the game as a whole. I'm really excited to throw a server up with infantry only and hardcore. So in the infantry only mode, there is no attack helis, there is no anti-air, and there is no tanks. It is amazing. I was watching some people play it. It was only available for EU central servers on the beta weekend, but just the fact that we're going to have control over that, and I'm excited. Infantry only will probably be the place that I spend most of my time, honestly. I don't care for tanks, and I don't care for using anti-air. And honestly, if I lose out on a bit of close air support, it's whatever, right? It's not too big a deal. Anyways, that's enough yap. I think y'all are gonna really enjoy this game when it comes out. Thanks for watching my videos and subscribing and liking and all that stuff. I'm going to be putting more out. I kind of play a few different video games. I'm setting this channel up so that it's not dedicated to just one game. I'm not just a one game Andy. I appreciate everybody who watches what I make and values anything I have to talk about. I'll see you on the next video.